Hey go peeps, and welcome back to Snail TV. Busy week, just smashing out everything where we've got at the moment. We are on the Porsche at the moment, just getting things done. Just getting the motor out and a few things. I will explain to this all what's going on later and everything. So all the turbo kit has all been taken out and motor is ready to come out. Just got to finish off, take it down to disconnect all the wiring up top just to make sure, and ready to put something underneath it ready to drop the actual motor on. These are mid-mounted engines, so they're a little bit harder to get out. You actually got to sit on something when you take while you're taking the bolts out because they've got to come down, they can't come up. And yeah, so we're going to go from there. So as I did say, I don't really like to film customers' cars so much, but I'll just go give you guys a quick look around and whatnot, and everything like that. So yeah, we finished the Supra. Supra's gone. Yeah, that's all finished up. Customer's happy with that, which is good. He's got a couple other little things and bits and pieces that he wants me to take care of on some other car and whatnot. He does have a build list for that car, so that's a good thing. So repping the 2J, and yeah, we should be able to be working on that again sometime soon, so that's a good thing. But so anyway, on the Porsche, we're just going to drop it down quickly, and all the wiring on there, disconnect a few things. Just yeah, it's been through some bad. So unfortunately, it's been through some dodgy people and some actually really good people as well. So I'll give them some highs and a lot of lows. Like, don't get me wrong, with the fab work and everything like that on the stuff is next to none. It's really nice. But it's just pretty much poor workmanship when it just comes to just little things of running wires and just buttoning things up. Some bad stuff done on here, unfortunately. But as I said, I'll get to this after engine's out. I will take a video with the owner of exactly what we're doing to this thing and why the engine's coming out, and what do we actually, what's the goal for it? Is it still going to be turboed? And all these other things. So yeah, we'll go from there. But this is on Fuel Tech, so Fuel Tech ECU. So it's got an FT550 non-dash, so it's got the non-front, no screens, because the Porsche has got a really nice cluster up there anyway. And we've got the ECU actually in the back of the engine there, well, in the mid-mounted engine there. So yeah, so that's what we're up to. So we're just about to drop this, but I need to make a video, so the video is going to be about the 2J on this one because it's Christmas. Well, it is Christmas, but it's also Christmas for me today again. It's always Christmas here. And all the Golby parts have all rocked up. So this is a bit what we've been waiting for the last week or so. I had a missed email, unfortunately. I didn't actually see it. It went into my other inbox, and they said that they had a raw kit of where is it? This one here. Of the sensor, of the front cam sensor. And I didn't reply to it until about 3 or 4 days later. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. But it's all good. Alright, so I'll go through it, guys. Yeah, head gasket. Alright, so this is an original turbo head gasket. We've got the, while we're at it, we just want to do a timing kit on it as well. So new tensioner and new timing belt. We'll go to ARP head studs. Alright, so that they're going to go nicely with the head gasket there. So yeah, and the number one part we need obviously is the oil pump. So it's the GDE oil pump that they will house the new sensor. Alright, that's where the crank sensor goes into. Alright, and also the tensioner. But yeah, the GE oil pump does not have the crank sensor, so that's what we need. That's the big part. Coming up with the new cam wheels. These are all adjustable. I didn't need these, but these come all with the kit. I'm all fine with those. It says Golby's on there. Alright, and also now the cam trigger. So instead of drilling a hole in the side, I will show you. So that's where the standard distributor went, and instead of drilling holes, it would be right here, the side. Alright, normally on the GTEs they have the cam triggers in here, one here, and one here as such. I can drill it, I can weld up a bung, I can do that really, but you know, these kits look really nice. And yeah, you just put a bung in there, block it off, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I think that'll be fine. So yeah, let's get this head gasket on, guys. Let's get the oil pump on first. Let's get the head back together, oil pump, get all that stuff. Let's do it, eh? Alright guys, so I really got to address the situation of the Porsche, of why I've got the Porsche here and what I'm doing with it, and yeah, what's the actual future for it, before I show you the aftermath right now. Alright, so let's go back to a couple of months ago, probably about 3 months ago. I had this message on Facebook about if I do an ECU onto a Cayman S. It's a Porsche Cayman S, so it's the bigger motor. It's a gorgeous car. It's still the luxury model, and there'd been a turbo kit put onto it, but apparently it wasn't running properly because I didn't know the full story then. I only found out later on, but just apparently that they put bigger injectors in, of course, to support the fuel system. To do that, then they sent the ECU, the standard ECU off to get it remapped. I heard that didn't work, so that was something happened there, that it come back worse or something like that. Then the customer went to pick the car up. He just heard it start up for like a tiny bit, so it did just start. Not very nice though, but blew a bit of smoke, and that was it. They turned it off, and yeah, the smoke was from the fuel. All right, that's what he got told. And then they called it a deal, and they sorted out a nice price, and he contacted me to see if I would do an ECU on it, and I said, yeah, no worries. I then, in that situation, I've moved shops and stuff like that, so it's been a bit here and there where I've been doing it. Installed the ECU onto it, guys, so we ended up putting a Fueltech 550 with no dash on it, so it's got no frontage. We hid it in the back. You guys have seen all the videos of that, and wired it up, and we control everything, and it's awesome. It's got the drive-by-wire on there. Managed to get all that working as well, 100%, all no worries. Runs everything sequential. Yeah, it runs. So Nathaniel from Fueltech Australia helped me with that, so thanks very much for that, mate. Really appreciate that. We got that to run real nice. Started up. First night we got it started, it was actually in night time, so we couldn't really see much. And then, yeah, a couple of times after I started up, so we could just go for a little drive just to get some, get something into it. Did notice a little bit of black smoke coming out of the back. So I thought that was, at those times, I initially thought that was because this thing's turbocharged, it's got a rear mount turbo, it's low mounted, and it actually has an oil pump to pump it back up, scavenger pump, scavenges it back up to the sump. So yeah, so I didn't think much of it, and there was always a bit of oil leaking here and there off it, and I was just like, I'll get to that later, let's get this tuning. I've been asked to do this ECU, so I don't really want to go into too much of the details of the build. I just want to get this thing here sorted, and then we'll get to those little tiny problems later. So I really want to get, just a tiny bit into the tune, just to see if we can get some tune into it and whatnot, and all that. Unfortunately, we could never get that far. A little, but not that far. Okay, so then it turned out I then got this shop, so, and was having this little bit of oil problem, so I brought it here where I could actually work one-on-one on it and actually diagnose the problem. So I thought I would just take off the oil pump, make sure it's all hooked up right, make sure nothing's blocking all the galleries, and just make sure it's just all working. It seemed all working, so then I just, for a split, 10-15 seconds, I blocked off the oil line off the turbo and the oil drain and whatnot, just so then there was no oil going to the turbocharger at all, and then gave that a start up just to see what it is, what the oil problem is. I just kept thinking it was the turbo, but unfortunately it was the engine. The whole time the engine has been pissing out with oil. All right, there is so much oil on this thing, it's just not nice at all. Fast forward a couple of weeks after that, so I did my job, so we didn't get to do a full tune into it. I managed to take it for a quick drive after that and diagnosing that problem, just so I still thought it maybe clear out, I don't know. So I just took it for a little quick drive out the court, making sure the tune's all good and shit like that as well. So I took it for a quick drive just around the corner, just to make sure everything in the drivability is nice, and all the accelerator and everything like that, and the drive-by-wire and everything's all working and communicating properly. And it drives like a absolutely dream. Fortunately, you give it any load, it has a rattle, so it sounds like piston slap, and it just belts out oil in the back. It's not nice, and especially not in a Porsche. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. So anyway, yeah, so what we did was I've contacted the customer. I said, listen, it's not nice. Took him some time to actually figure out what to do with it and whatnot. And I just said, listen, I don't know how to, go much further from here. So I asked him if he wants to go get a quote somewhere, and just so then he's got, from a specialist, from a quote of what to do. Got that quote and whatnot, and that was, it's a crazy price what they charge out there. He's then asked is there any chance that I could help him. I'm always willing to help, all right, so I'm not going to be building the motor at all, but I'm always willing to do the labor wise, and there's a lot in the turbocharging system that I really want to change, and we'll go through that in a second. But we didn't get to that yet. And then, yeah, so we then back and forth. I just made sure that if this is what he wants, once I start, then it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep going until it's finished, He was all good with that. He's been really good with that, back and forth with the communication. He's a customer that, he's a guy that doesn't want to hand the problem on to someone else. Apparently this car had been sold about 3 times this year, or the last couple of years, it's obviously had some sort of problem the last year or two. I don't know exactly what the whole history of the car was, but it's not nice. I've seen a lot of dodgy stuff on the car. I've seen a couple of nice things, which I'll show you as well, but that's what it is. So I really want to address that first before we go any further. This is all about the Porsche, okay? Just let you guys know of, taking the engine out and whatnot, and we are going to do some crazy stuff. So the goal for the customer now, all right, so fast forward it now. Goal for the customer is there's records out there for the fastest Cayman out there and whatnot. He's thinking, while it's out, and we might as well do something to it. It is turbocharged anyway. He does have the fuel tech there. He's got all the supporting mods, well, except for the engine wires once he does the engine, and he's got everything there ready to go. So he's really keen to step it up, maybe put some forges in there, set of rods, and just see what exactly else we need to do. Might need to probably need to sleeve the block, but we need to, we'll be doing that with the machine shop. So, but there's a few things I want to change on the turbocharging side of it, a couple of things on the block as well. Unfortunately, the car did not have a intercooler. It never ran an intercooler. It ran a water to meth sprayer instead. Horrible idea, because it's just a small little tank, and you just got to rely on that to keep things cool. So we're going to scrap that. We took that off. We actually are going to put a water to air intercooler underneath as well. It's all underneath the rear of the car, so everything is sort of, there's not too many places to mount things. So we've got to just keep that in mind. But all in all, it's an absolutely gorgeous car. So let's make it even better by just putting a bit of my, my specialties into it. So I'll take you to it now, guys, and we'll have a look at a couple of things. All right, guys. So right next to me right here is a Cayman S Porsche engine. So this is the very first Porsche engine I've ever taken out in my whole life. All right. It wasn't easy, but it also wasn't really hard at all. So it actually went really smoothly. Nothing broke or anything like that, which is awesome. All the clips and stuff like that, everything was all pretty easy. There is a couple of clips in that broken from the previous build of just a few things of what they have done. The customer knows about all this stuff, and we are addressing this as it all goes along. I'm just trying to make the customer really wants this back to how it's supposed to be. And really nice car. But it was, there's a few nice things on here, as I did say, but there's a lot of dodgy stuff happened. I think the finishing off has just been rushed, just to get it finished for some reason. I don't know if it was just a very low budget, paid off at the end or whatnot, because the actual fab work itself was really, really nice, but then horrible how they started. So I'll just show you a couple of things. We've got all the parts here, guys, of everything that's come off of it. You know, you're using all the nice stuff, Turbo Smart 50 gate here, all V-band fittings and whatnot. You know, they're doing it all TIG weld, lobster bends, you know, everything's really, really nice. I can't default their workmanship on everything. You can see the rear exhaust of how nice all the stuff is. They've done an awesome job on that sort of stuff. But then come down to it, guys, you know, they have used a nice turbo, aeroflow turbo, you know, a decent scavenger pump, but then they got, you know, shit like this. All right, absolutely pathetic pod filter, you know, things like $20 from Super Cheap. And then we're working with the standard headers. All right, so they have hollowed out the cats or whatnot, or the silencer box, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they've hollowed them out, but you can see what they're doing. How they did it is they put a B-band and, you know, then they stepped it up. But, you know, we're shrinking back here. We're very small here. You know, you can tell just what it's, all 3 pipes are going into that and then going out from there. So horrible start off. You know, this is where you make all your power off your headers, you know. You know, a decent set of headers would be so much nicer. We are talking to the customer at the moment about upgrading these. We're just making sure budget and everything like that is all in reasonable. But yeah, all in all, guys, we've got the nice parts. As I did say, it's a nice size turbo for it. We've got the wastegate, nice size wastegate to bleed the boost off. Yeah, so a couple of parts, but we're end up changing a few things and whatnot. So car's all done, everything, yeah, put away at the moment, just so then we can get to other few things as well. We've got to tackle this block. We've got to take apart the whole thing. All right, take the box off it. Let's take the inlet off it. Take the the exhaust R off it, but take all the accessories off it, alternator and all that stuff, power steering and aircon, engine mount, and a few other things. Then taking the heads off if we can. We pretty much got to strip it down to bare bones here. Once it's here, once it's all taken down, then we can go and send it off to the machine shop, and we got to make sure we can stick within our budget. Yeah, he's got a budget to work with, and we've got to try to work with that. But I'm still trying to get. I don't want to put all this together without doing a few other things as well, like with the intercooler, and also doing the headers and stuff like that. We're just going to be losing too much power to be lost on those sorts of things. Yeah, as I did say, the fuel tech, we've got the main brains there ready to go. So that's what I like to do on a lot of people's builds, is to put an ECU on there first. And it's just so much easier to control everything from there. We're controlling everything on the whole car. Transmission still shifts, no worries and whatnot. Everything else all still communicates, which is awesome. So yeah, so that's where we're up to, guys, on the Porsche anyway, and I just wanted to let you guys know of what's the go with it and why I do have it. Yeah, I've had it for a couple of months now, only because of this is exactly what's going on. So we just got to read up about the trans. Any of you guys are Porsche guys, I really need to know about the trans to make sure what sort of power those things can hold on these, and also just other things of what else we can do to them. So yeah, there's a couple of things there I want to change, but as the customer stated, that we are still trying to keep it a Porsche. We're not changing anything, you know, we're not doing full-on work, but we are making it a clean build, that's all. All right, so yeah, so that's the whole update with the Porsche. It is a gorgeous car, absolutely gorgeous car, little fun car to drive. When I took it for a little tiny drive, me and my son went for a little drive just down the road, and it's actually a magnificent car. Unfortunately, we couldn't put any boot into it or anything like that, but you know, through all the logs and stuff like that, yeah, I don't think we hit any boost. But yeah, it was that was still just a nice drive anyway, just doing that little thing there. So I can't wait till the engine's done and the customer can actually enjoy it. But yeah, anyway, that's the update on that. Big update on the Supra, guys. Sorry I've skipped over. I've just had so many other things to be doing at the moment. But big updates for the Supra, guys. All right, have a look. Have a look. All painted. All painted. Engine was out. All right, it's all back together. Okay. Look at that. How much better is that? All right, got the cam covers on there as well, just to make everything look fresh. Got the Golby cam gears as well on there. Everything's there. So I've just got this pretty much sitting in place. It's just resting in the engine mounts at the moment. No bolts are on there. Just got the transmission bolts in at the back. And we need to bolt this thing into place tomorrow. That's what my whole goal is, to bolt in place. Actually, I've got a few things as well. Have a look over here. We've painted up just some of the things, not all of it. Still waiting for the diner to get dug. Hurry up, Dave. But we've got everything all painted up, ready to address, to go on. I have to do this in a couple of processes, guys, because I still got like the intercooler, turbo and all that stuff to paint, but I can't, I can't like do the whole car, and it's just too much. I got too much thing on at the moment, so I'm just going to do it in a couple of processes. It's only black paint, it's nothing to match color anyway. And we're just going to put this bolted in, put all the accessories on there and whatnot. Then we can address anything else as well. Mount intercooler, do all that sort of stuff. And also we got to do the transmission cooler, and also we got 2 oil coolers here, transmission and also a oil cooler there as well. And just so then they're all done. So really happy with everything there. They got fans on them as well. But yeah, that's where we're up to, guys. All right, so sorry that I'm not filming like too much of me doing anything, but it's just all updates and whatnot, and just where things are going at the shop. I'm just flat out just doing absolutely everything, and playing handball with my son and playing games and absolute cross everything. So but yeah, everything else is all good, guys. Yeah, let me know what else you guys are thinking. Thanks very much for watching the videos, of course, guys. If you all want to keep updates, always just come to the channel just to see what updates on the channel. And we're going from there. Let me know what else you guys want to see from the Porsche. When the Porsche is in next, we'll go through the whole thing of whatnot. And if the customer's happy enough, I can videotape the build on that thing, because it's going to be pretty much a bit of a build. Obviously, like, you know, with the relocation of the turbo and that sort of stuff that we're trying to do. So yeah, that should be really nice if the customer lets us do that. But that should be awesome. Doing this tomorrow, and also I'm going to be installing the fuel tech on my mate Jared's car, the BMWs, guys, remember that? We're putting the fuel tech on it. I've just done a PDM box and got it all wired up. We're going to put it in there and start wiring it up as well. So I'll go for a quick like that as well, and put you a couple of updates on that thing. All right, guys, I'll keep you at that. Thanks very much. Sorry I'm bragging, but it's just easy doing this way. And I'll see you guys soon. See you, peeps.